If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. She was loud, fierce, and unapologetically bold. Some called her the Madonna of the townships. Others, a troublemaker. But one thing is certain, Brenda Fassie was a South African legend who set the stage on fire. This is our story. Welcome to the Legends series, where we take a look back at the lives of some of our favorite people from all around the world who have sadly passed away. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you can watch these stories and more. Today we'll be looking at the one and only Madam B, Brenda Fassie. Born in 1964 in Longo, Cape Town, Brenda Nokuzola Fassie was named after American country singer Brenda Lee. As a child, she would listen to American artists like Elvis Presley, Neil Diamond, and Helen Reddy while mimicking them. Little did everyone know that she was going to become one of the greatest South African artists of all time. Raised by a single mother after her father died when she was still very young, music was her refuge and her rebellion. By age 5, she was performing for tourists and earning the nickname Little Mama. When she was a bit older, her mother bought her first guitar, and from then on, there was no turning back. Her talent was obvious, and she was determined to make something of herself. At school, she formed a band with her friends, and they started performing around the Cape Flats. It wasn't long before Brenda's powerful voice and charismatic stage presence caught the attention of local music lovers. She was destined for greatness. In the 1980s, Brenda joined the group Brenda and the Big Judes. This marked a turning point in her career. The band's hit song Weekend Special became a huge success, charting not just in South Africa but also in the US and the UK. This gave Brenda a taste of international recognition and inspired her to keep pushing forward. The song also gave voice to the struggles of Black South Africans under the oppressive regime of apartheid. And for its time, the music video for Weekend Special, which featured scenes of police brutality and racial segregation, was considered extremely controversial. Despite the odds, the song went on to become an anthem for the youth and a symbol of resistance against the status quo. It wasn't just a party song. It was a cry for freedom. Though the band eventually disbanded, Fassie continued to make music and to forge her own path. She became known as the Madonna of the Townships, a title she wore proudly, having been compared to the Queen of Pop herself. She was hugely popular in South Africa and beyond. Her albums sold in large numbers, and her concerts were packed with screaming fans eager to see her perform live. But it was more than just her music that made her so popular. Her outspoken nature and willingness to speak out against injustice made her a role model for many. She was not afraid to stand up for what she believed in, even if it meant going against the grain. Brenda Fassie wasn't just a pretty face or a talented musician. She was a true original, unapologetically herself. In an industry that often tries to mold artists into a certain image, she stood out for being real, flawed, human. She made mistakes, got into trouble, and wasn't afraid to show her vulnerability. Perhaps this is what made her so relatable and endearing to her fans. They saw her as someone just like them who was trying to make their way in the world and didn't shy away from the challenges that came with it. Her music was a reflection of her life experiences, often tackling social and political issues that were taboo at the time. With hits like Black President and Amoyer, she addressed issues like poverty, inequality, and racism, giving voice to the voiceless and inspiring change in a country that desperately needed it. In the midst of her roaring success, Brenda Fassie's personal life spiraled into turmoil. Despite her fame and fortune, she struggled with inner demons that threatened to tear her down. She faced substance abuse issues, and her volatile relationship with her second husband, the godfather of Kwaito, was a source of constant drama. During a performance in Zimbabwe in 1999, she was found unconscious beside her boyfriend, Miles Mango, who was later discovered to be deceased. Although the circumstances surrounding the incident remained unclear, it painted a picture of the troubled times that she was facing. The tragedy left her devastated, and it was only through the support of her family and friends that she was able to pull through. This event, along with other personal struggles, led to a period of inactivity in her career as she took some time to focus on getting her life back on track. It was a difficult time, but it was also a turning point. Through it all, she remained resilient, determined to overcome her personal demons and get back to doing what she loved the most, entertaining her fans. When she eventually returned to the music scene, she did so with renewed vigor, her voice stronger and more soulful than ever before. But despite her talent and popularity, tragedy struck once again. On May 9, 2004, at the age of 39, Brenda Fassie passed away after falling into a coma several weeks earlier. The news of her untimely death sent shockwaves through South Africa and beyond. Her fans were devastated, but they were not alone. Even her rivals and detractors mourned her passing. It was a moment of unity and reflection for the nation as they came together to remember the woman who had brought them so much joy through her music. The outpouring of grief was immense. Thousands of people lined the streets of Johannesburg and Cape Town to pay their respects as her body was transported to her final resting place. Music played, people sang and danced, and there were even traditional Zulu dancers who paid homage to the star. It was a celebration of her life, her music, and her legacy. South Africa mourned the loss of one of its most beloved icons. Flags were lowered to half-mast and the national broadcaster SABC declared 3 days of mourning. President Thabo Mbeki described her as a shining star who had gone out like a candle flame extinguished. Such was the impact of her death that the government even intervened to ensure that she received a dignified send-off, paying for her funeral expenses and offering support to her family during their time of grief. Even Nelson Mandela, the country's revered leader, sent his condolences to her family, calling her a national treasure who had used her music to give voice to the voiceless. In the years since her passing, Brenda Fassie's memory has only grown stronger. Her music continues to be celebrated and her life story told and retold through documentaries and articles. There's a reason why she's earned the title of the Black Madonna. She pushed boundaries, broke molds, and was never afraid to speak her mind. Whether you knew her as a singer and actress or simply as a larger-than-life personality, there is no denying that Brenda Fassie left an indelible mark on those who knew her, and on the entertainment industry as a whole. She paved the way for many young black South African artists, showing them that it was possible to succeed in a predominantly white industry. And she did it all with style, grace, and an unapologetic sense of self. So today, we raise a glass to the one and only Brenda Fassie, a true legend who will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know in the comments below your thoughts about the video and which other legends you'd like to see us cover. See you next time.